What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today is Wednesday, which of course means it's time for another Western Europe Wednesday here on the channel. And the beer I'm reviewing today is actually another collaboration beer. This time between the Mortalis Brewing Company, and they are headquartered in Avon, New York, and the Fourscore Beer Company, and they're out of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. And this is their Hydra, the Jahmba Jelly Donut variant. So they're calling this one a sour ale brewed with boysenberry, raspberry, strawberry, and jelly donuts. Comes in at 7% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed. Time of review. And this can is just under 2 months old. So we got another Mortalis beer here, and this is a collab with Fourscore. I've heard really good things about Fourscore's heavily fruited / smoothie sour beers, and I think their most popular series is their Jahmba series, which makes sense because this is Hydra, Jahmba Jelly Donut, so combining the two series. And yeah, really looking forward to getting into this one. I'm hoping for a jelly donut in smoothie sour beer form, and I do have the a new glass from Mortalis, and that's because I went to the new Mortalis location in Buffalo a couple weeks ago, checked out the new digs, and really enjoyed myself. Had some pours of their beer, had some couple different pours of the meads from Illumination Meadery, and also had the barbecue burnt ends that were really delicious. I didn't film on location, just trying to check it out for the first time. But if I go there again, I might do an on location. Maybe drink some of their beer and show you guys a little bit of the location. But really nice spot, and I'll definitely be back there. And I picked up this glass because the other glass I have, which is the Medusa glass, I just like something that is stemless. So I went with this, and I think it's pretty simplistic. I think it was like $8 or $9 for this glass, so not too bad. So anyway, yeah, that has like a deep purple, dare I say, that looks like a mixed berry jam in liquid form. Yeah, I mean, it's like someone took a jam and threw it into a 7% smoothie sour ale. But yeah, you can't see through it. It's hazy, it's murky, it's thick, has the fruit pectin on the side from the puree. Pretty much plays the role of what I expected out of this beer. Let's get a nose. Yeah, it smells like the filling of like a jelly donut. Usually when I get jelly donuts, usually either strawberry or raspberry, depending on what they have at the place, usually one of the two. And this smells like more of, I'd say, a strawberry jelly donut. And I don't know, this is actually brewed with jelly donuts. I don't know what type of jelly donuts they're throwing in here. And also, look at the can art on this. This can art is absolutely, like, a lot of their can art's fantastic. I just love the darker kind of colors to this. You got the Hydra heads going on, like I don't know. I just love it. Anyway, I was just looking at it as I was smelling this, like I didn't even show off the can. Anyway, yeah, it's like the innards of a jelly donut. Even a little bit of like powdered sugar you get on the outside. It's doughy. But yeah, a ton of mixed berries. It does, outside of the jelly donut, does have like a real authentic kind of fruit quality. Again, boysenberry, raspberry and strawberry. I would just say raspberry and strawberry for sure. It smells like it could be potentially a bit too sweet for me. I don't know. We will see. Yeah, it smells pretty good. Not getting much out of it outside of that. I will say that I'm looking forward to this one. Of course, like I say, with all of these smoothie sour beers, I just hope it's not too sweet because I'd like to drink the rest of this, especially if it tastes delicious. Anyway, cheers, everyone. That's nice. I really like that. It's actually a bit more tart and acidic than I anticipated based off the nose. The nose was screaming powdered jelly donut in a sour beer. It really didn't smell all that sour or tart. It smelled just more like the donut. Had like the doughy kind of aroma as well, along with the mixed berries. In the taste, it's a little bit more complex. It's not as sweet, and it's actually quite drinkable, but I will say off that first sip, the flavors aren't as impactful as I thought based on the nose, so take another sip, we'll go body and mouthfeel. Buying this one, not the thickest Hydra I've ever had. Definitely like medium full, but it's not, super viscous. I've had a lot of beers I've reviewed on this channel within this style that, it's been a couple where like it's pouring out of the glass like a slushy. You can tell those are really thick and over the top. This is not. So if you want a little bit more I'd say drinkability from this one from a body standpoint, yeah, I think they've done it here. Some people might want a little bit thicker. For me, I'm fine with this. Like it does up the drinkability for me. The sessionability out of this one through the roof from the body perspective. Mouthfeel, it has a nice smoothness to it. It's somewhat creamy, but it does have a mild to moderate carbonation, more approaching moderate. So it is a little bit spritzy on the palate. So I will say this, the body and mouthfeel, probably not the best stylistically speaking, but it's really nice. Again, for something that I would want to drink an entire glass of, I think I prefer the body and mouthfeel in this range where it's not super over the top, thick and creamy and just, just too insane. I think it's nice and you can kind of tell that it's a beer to some extent, right? Or a carbonated beverage, which sometimes you don't with these. The taste, it's more complex than the nose was, for sure. It's still not overly complex. First thing I get hit at the front of the palate is jelly donut, like 100%. It has that doughy kind of, flavor you get from a donut of any kind, really. But then I get the innards of like a strawberry jelly donut. Like, I don't want to say artificial, but you know what I'm talking about. It's definitely more jelly than like an actual like jam or like real fruit. That hits me right at the front of the palate, dives underneath the palate. It stays with you, but then I get like waves of the berry. I get more like a authentic strawberry, authentic raspberry. Boysenberry to some degree. I think boysenberry is like a hybrid of a raspberry and a blackberry. Get maybe a little bit of touch of like a blackberry kind of feeling, so I get it. Or maybe it's a blueberry and a blackberry. I forget what boysenberry. I don't think I've ever had an actual boysenberry, or if I have, it's been like once or twice. So, I mean, usually when I go to the store, you got blueberries, you got raspberries, you got strawberries. Some random berries here and there. Usually don't see boysenberries. Second half of the palate is where the tartness kicks in on this one. This is like firmly tart with a mild, I'd say a mild to approaching moderate acidity. I do feel like if I drink the rest of this, I might have a little bit of acid reflux or heartburn by the end of this glass, which is a bummer. So that kind of knocks down the drinkability a little bit. I do like the firm tartness. I wish this was firmly tart like it is without that acidity, because I like a little acidic punch, but once it gets too big, like it really messes me up. It's sweet, but not overly so. Like, it's definitely desserty, but not over the top. So this leans like 65% sweet and then 35 to 40% dry, because there's a nice like semi-dry finish. No bitterness to speak of. 7%. I thought it was 6.5. 7% you really can't tell. This almost gives me like kind of like a berry wine kind of feeling, very slightly. Like, it just like a thicker berry wine. This is nice. Is it amazing? No. I think the aroma was better. And I do like, again, the body and mouthfeel. I just wish there was a little bit more overall intensity of the flavors, and I do wish that acidity was knocked down a bit. Because if the acidity really wasn't there or very light, and I think if the, like maybe the jelly donut came a little bit more, because, like I said, dives underneath the palate, it kind of sneaks up a little bit on the finish, very slight. I think this would definitely be a very delicious beer. As is, it's still quite tasty, just not like over the top great. So I am going to give the collaboration between Mortalis and Fourscore, their Hydra Jahmba Jelly Donut, I'm going to give this a, we're going to go straight 4.25 out of 5. I think that's where it lands for me. I think it's a really nice, heavily fruited sour that tries to mimic a jelly donut in beer form. The problem I'm having personally with it is the acidity is a bit too high, and I think the intensity of flavors for what it is doesn't reach the potential I think this one has. But it's still a good beer. 4.25 out of 5, still a good beer. But when these hit, like these beers hit, usually I'm giving them 4.5 and higher, because I love, here's the thing. It'll be a longer review just because I'm going to go off on a rant here. But here's the thing. I love this style of beer. Is it beer? We have a lot of debates. People say no, other people say yes. I don't give a shit. I mentioned this before. It doesn't matter to me. It's a delicious beverage. The base of this is technically a beer. I guess they could do it with seltzer like they do with the schmooge. That's fine. These are very tasty more often than not, right? Because it's just a lot of times fruit puree or adjuncts, and they're trying to mimic something. Like in this one, they're trying to mimic a jelly donut. You'll get one that tries to mimic an orange creamsicle, whatever. The problem with these is, for me, more often than not, is the drinkability from the sweetness level, or maybe the acidity level, or maybe even the tartness / sour level. A lot of these lean too sweet, so I don't drink typically the entire can. I'll drink like 4 to 6 ounces and I'll drain pour the rest, which is a bummer. I wish these came in 7.5 fluid ounce cans or even 12 ounce cans, because these are the definition of a flight / sharing beer more often than not. I want maybe a third of this can, maybe half of this can at the very most. This I'll probably drink the vast majority, but I think that acidity, once it starts building up, I start feeling shitty. I'm going to pour the rest of it, which sucks because brings me to the price point availability, $25 a 4-pack at the brewery. I got a single can at Brewed and Bottled in Lewiston, I think it was like $7 or $7.50 for the can. You know, all the places. I mean, I love Chris over at Brewed and Bottled, Ethan over at Premier Gourmet, two of my favorite bottle shops in the area. But, you know, if you buy single, it's going to be a little bit more expensive, and I get that. So I'd rather pay $7, $7.50 for, even $8 for this can than buy an entire 4-pack that I know I'm probably not going to drink all of them, or I don't want to drink all of them. It's a waste of money. So, you know, buying this, and even if I pour half of it, I wasted $3 or $4 as opposed to wasting like 15. So I do enjoy buying singles of these rather than entire 4-packs, unless it's something I had before and I know I love. The availability is Mortalis. I don't know anymore. They have an online store you can buy stuff from. I don't know if they just ship in New York State. They're getting all over the place. They're on Tavor. I mean, if you want Mortalis stuff at this point, you can probably get them. You might have to go a little bit out of your way to maybe trade for them, or go to a state that has them, or maybe order off their website, or maybe off of another beer website, but you can get their stuff. So yeah, I'm not going to say I'm disappointed by this one. I really like the aroma. Tastes a little bit of letdown. I just wish that acidity was knocked down. This probably gets in the 4 or 5 range. Like, I'm already starting to feel it. I would imagine when I get to the half of this can, I'm just be like, no more for me. And that's a bummer, because a lot of times it's the sweetness that kills it. This beer is not too sweet to me, like, for the style. Like, the sweetness is not an issue here, and that is a rarity. So if you've had this one before, post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about it. Also, if you've had anything from Fourscore, let me know your experience with them, especially when it comes to their heavily fruited sours. I don't know, you know, I basically know of them because of this style specifically, as opposed to anything else, but I know a lot of people enjoy their stuff. I think they do like the Big League Chew series. Is that them? I think that's them. And I've heard some wild things about their beers in terms of just like, you know, how they taste and kind of crazy stuff they do. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to shut this one down. Like I said, 7%, you really can't taste it. But at the end of the day, really good beer. Even though it seems like the last 3 or 4 minutes I've been trying to figure out a way to, you know, try to apologize for maybe not loving this one. It's kind of weird, but that's sometimes how it works. Anyway, appreciate it. To the next one. Cheers, and oh yeah, check back next Wednesday for another West New York Wednesday. I don't know what I'm going to review, but it's probably going to be something from the West New York area, because that's how we roll on West New York Wednesdays. To the next one. Cheers.